Leg number 2 of the road trip moves us south into California. It's the first of a 4-game series against the Angels, who are right at 500. Sox and Angels getting together for the first time here in 2018. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And when you face the Angels, you face the best player in baseball, Mike Trout.
Every year they say, is he the best player? Is it Mookie Betts? Is it Bryce Harper? Well, let's just say that Mike Trout's the best because there's nothing that he can't do, and this year is no exception. Sitting .307, he's hit 26 home runs. The OPS is 1,055. Pretty good with 16 stolen bases. He can go get him in center field. He robs home runs routinely, and when he gets on base, he's always a threat to steal. The fact is, he stays healthy. He's leading this ball club. The ball club is really scuffling, but it's not the fault of Mike Trout.
As for the Sox, Tim Anderson had the home run in Seattle, and his play has been better of late.
You'd have to say that he really picked it up defensively, and the offense has been there pretty much all year long. 16 home runs, 21 stolen bases this year. But I like the fact that over the last month, he seems to have really picked up the defense. He's making all the plays. He's making the double play exceptionally smoothly, and he's doing just about everything right now, and he's one of the leaders on this team.
Young pitchers on the mound in this game. Lucas Giolito, the California native, against Jaime Barria for the Angels.
Barria's an interesting pitcher because he's not going to overpower anybody. He does have a good straight change. We saw how important that can be when you're facing our Sox. Lucas Giolito last time out against the Royals was brilliant. In fact, the last 2 times he's throwing very well. Barria on the other side of the equation. He's going to have to trick you. He's going to have to get you out of the strike zone. If you're selective, and our Sox have not been, then you're going to have a good time against him. If you're swinging at everything, he's going to take advantage of you.
Sox and Angels on the way. 2 guys in their early 20s on the mound trying to stifle the offense of the Angels, who went home run happy yesterday against the Astros. Sox and Angels, game 1 on the way.
by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
Welcome back to the Big A here in Anaheim, the home of the Angels since the 1960s, and a beautiful overhead look at the home of the visiting White Sox for the next 4 days. Thanks for joining us for leg 2 of this road trip. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Sox and Angels playing for the first time this year, and we get a close-up look at not only Mike Trout, but also Shohei Ohtani and Carlos Rodon saying, let go of my arm. I've got a pitch very shortly. White Sox lineup, it's brought to you by the Webb Auto Group, as always. For the best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price, go to webcars.com. Moncada, Sanchez, Abreu, Polka, Davidson, Leori, Garcia, Avi, a late scratch. We'll tell you why coming up. Anderson, Smith, and Engel.
The defense for the Angels and how Mike Scioscia is going to put them out there tonight. It's Upton, Trout, and Calhoun left to right in the outfield, with Fletcher, Simmons, Kinsler, and Pujols in the infield. Martin Maldonado has the plate tonight. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jaime Barria. On for his 14th start. He's 5-6, ERA a good one. He's really scuffled lately as guys have really gotten onto him. They're taking a whole lot of pitches. He doesn't try to get you out in the strike zone, but nipping at it, and he usually gets behind. The umpires for the game tonight. Ryan Addington has the plate. Pat Hoberg at first base, Brian Knight at second, and the crew chief, Jerry Davis, is at third. So the wind is blowing out toward right center field. Sitting down here in somewhat of a bowl. It's not quite the effect it has at a lot of ballparks, but here, if you get it up in the air to right center, it's going to go.
Ricky Renteria from not far away from here, and Mike Scioscia, the former big league catcher who's been the skipper here since the year 2000, nearly 2 decades.
It's hard to believe, 19th year as the Angels manager. .537 winning percentage, that's pretty good.
Talking about pretty good, that does not cover this guy.
And he's got that guy who can do just about everything you have to do to be successful in this game. And he stays healthy. Albert Pujols just back off the DL and activated for the game tonight. So they're starting to get their team back together again. Now if they can get that pitching staff together, and they've got, what, they lead the world in disabled list stints for their pitchers?
Well, they lead the world in Tommy John surgeries, that's for sure. 5 of them for Angels pitchers this season.
That will put a crimp in any of your postseason plans.
But a well-manicured one that will leave a nice scar. Yeah. Yoan Moncada leads it off, then Sanchez and Abreu. Sox on the road trying to win this series and make it a winning road trip after Seattle took 2 of 3 in the Pacific Northwest. 22-year-old Jaime Barria for the 23-year-old Moncada, and ball number 1 as we're underway from the Big A here on a Monday night.
Sox not known for a great deal of patience, but if you are patient with Barria, he will walk you.
Fouled away by Moncada, who was 0 for 11 in that series against the Mariners. Hit a couple of balls fairly hard, had 2 walks as well in game number 1. It's a rare situation where Moncada is going to be older than the guy he's facing.
That is a rare situation.
88 degrees here in Anaheim tonight. It's not exactly the pleasant light summer tones that we felt in Seattle.
No, but still very pleasant.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good day today.
1-2 from Barria. And it's chopped to second base, and Ian Kinsler, our former enemy in the AL Central, has moved out west with the Angels. We told you Avisail Garcia was scratched from this game maybe a couple hours before first pitch. He was scheduled to be in the 4 position. He has an illness. He is under the weather. And I know when we get toward trade deadline time, people tend to say, well, illness sounds. No, he's actually ill. He's sick and out of the lineup. Sanchez, a foul ball back to the screen.
So far, we haven't seen the good straight change from Berea. And it is a good one.
He throws it about 20% of the time. Very slider heavy as well. Two strikes on Sanchez, and you see what Berea throws. It's 35% slider. You pair the fastballs together, he's more fastball than slider, but he throws the slider more than any other pitch.
And I think as he moves along with his velocity, he'll probably throw more sinkers than he's throwing now. That's only at 13%. But he's got to depend on guys beating the ball into the ground.
Rolled foul by Sanchez, who is a heavy ground ball guy. Yolmer 4 for 10 in that Seattle series. Still tied for the major league lead with 9 triples. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Well, you mentioned the Angels have their team back together. They're 10 games back of Seattle for that #2 spot in the AL West, and it would take quite the surge from the Angels late this season to get back there.
Well, when you consider they also have to move on top of Oakland, and lately the Oakland Ball Club is winning a lot.
Sanchez to left field. See if he tries for 2. He's gonna. Sanchez on his way, and he is out. It looked enticing off the bat for a double, but quickly played in the Angels outfield by Upton, and Sanchez thrown out.
Had he been thinking about 2 bases the whole way, he might have made it. As it turns out, Yolmer right here takes a look, just hesitates 1 iota, and he's out by plenty. So a good throw by Upton, and Yolmer is taken down.
Ricky Renteria goes to ask what he was looking at. Off the bat, with where Upton was playing, it seemed like that might be a tougher play to cut it off before a double than it was.
He got to it pretty quickly, and
yeah.
Yolmer took a gamble and lost. What we'll see here is if anything you do pregame carries over, because before the game, Jose was hitting the ball to right and right center a lot during batting practice. Then when he did start to tune it up, he hit the ball hard out of the ballpark in left center. So at least before the game today, he was swinging it like he had most of last year.
Abreu hits it well, center field. Trout back at the wall. Abreu is gone. It does carry over. Jose with a solo shot in the first.
14th home run of the year. He ties Tim Anderson for the team lead. He's now driven in 53, and just like that, the warm temperatures and the pregame practice for Jose pays dividends. He was trying to do just this, and he got it done. A hanging breaking ball, looked like a hanging slider up in his eyes. Our Ford home run replay, and Jose takes it way back. Sox have the lead. It's 1-0.
We were sitting here in the booth before the game, and you said, hey, he's hitting the ball really hard right now, and that definitely plays. So Abreu with a home run, and we were talking about it the other day. Greg Sparks said, look, I know Abreu's in whatever he's in right now, but it usually takes just 1 swing for him. And you said it on a foul ball yesterday. You thought that something may have clicked.
It looked to me like everything came together for him on that foul ball. He waited long enough, in fact, maybe just a little too long, and roped it down the line. It was well fouled. Then he came up with a base hit where he fisted the ball into center field. But that sequence for him looked to me like the old Jose, the guy that we see the second half of just about every year. Then watching batting practice today and watching what he did, he was very determined in practice. He was bearing down. He wasn't taking any of the swings for granted and driving the ball to right and right center field, but he was hitting it on a line. He wasn't just flipping it out there. And that really showed me that I think he's starting to get on top of things.
Polka livens this one up to center field, but Trout is back on it to make the catch. Abreu looked almost sheepish in the dugout, as if to say, sorry it took this long, but Jose looks like he's back in the groove. For Mike Scioscia and his Angels of Los Angeles. Calhoun, Simmons, then Mike Trout, Justin Upton, always a powerful force. Pujols back in, Ohtani, Kinsler, Maldonado, and Fletcher.
Let's take a look at the defense, and now Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there tonight. It's Daniel, Adam, and Leary left to right. In the infield, Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Jose, with Kevin Smith getting the nod behind the plate. And there he is. Lucas Giolito on for the 20th time. Our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher. Looking for win number 7, his ERA coming down. It's just over 6 these days, and hopefully he can throw it like he did last time out.
Friends and family in the crowd for Lucas, who grew up in Santa Monica. And he's got strike 1 to Cole Calhoun, his first start against the Angels in his career. And Calhoun with that average at 190, but since he came off the disabled list about a month ago, he's slugging .622. So Calhoun much improved in recent days. Part of that because he's changed his batting stance deeper into a crouch rather than more upright as he started the 2018 season after a couple of great years for the Angels. Always a strong outfielder. Upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes on Calhoun. This Angels team top half in the league in slugging at 12th. .413 slugging percentage for Mike Scioscia, former Dodger catcher. 1-2. It's in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You mentioned in our open Lucas Giolito, his last couple of starts, his performance has been outstanding.
I think he's got the feel for it. I think he's had the feel for it the last couple of starts, and it looked like he spotted his fastball early in those starts. Now occasionally he'll still fall off the mound to the first base side a little drastically, and then it'll affect his control, but other than that, he's been spot on.
Fastball fouled away. Last 2 starts, here's what he's thrown. It's the 4-seam fastball, 0 for 11. He's not allowed a fastball hit on his 4-seamer in his last 2 starts. 2 for 11 against the changeup and just 1 hit against his breaking stuff combined. 2-2 on Calhoun. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Giolito breaks it inside, and 1 down.
Looks like he threw a slider in under the hands and in a perfect spot. Tied up Calhoun, could do nothing with it.
So one down for Andrelton Simmons, who's having the best offensive season of his career. He's perennially a Gold Glover. But the offense this season for Simmons has been terrific.
Well, he does a lot of things, and they're wondering just exactly where they should hit Mike Trout to give him the most ability to drive in runs. And so far, they haven't found the ideal spot. Since they moved him to third, it really hasn't worked out very well. Simmons was leading off for a while, and he's swinging the bat just about as well as you could swing it. Calhoun was their leadoff hitter last year, but he's hitting just 190. So trying to get Mike Trout a comfortable place to hit where he gets the most guys to drive in has been problematic for Mike Social.
He's only had something like 9 at-bats with runners in scoring position since he hit in the 3 spot.
Been kind of amazing, actually.
On the ground and foul, third base side. Well, it's an interesting time for the Angels because they're sitting here at 500. They have the best player in baseball, at least offensive player in baseball, in Mike Trout. They've got Ohtani. They have some guys locked up for a while. But do you buy or do you sell? You probably can't justify buying at the deadline this year. As this is foul, third base side.
If you take a look at their ball club, you're hard pressed to find out who exactly you would sell.
Right.
Because when you look at these guys, there's a few that might have some desire for people, but they make a whole lot of money. There you see what it looks like with the Angels right there. They're 15 back. They're 10 in back of the Mariners. That's going to be a tough climb for them. And when you figure that one wild card for sure is coming out of the East, and it's likely to be the loser of Yankees Red Sox, then there's not much margin for error here in the West.
Sanchez at third across the diamond for out number 2. And here comes Mike Trout, who is really unequivocally, since 2012, the best player in baseball. You look at wins above replacements, among other numbers. I mean, we know about the offensive numbers, but as compared to everybody else, he is #1 in wins above replacement since 2012 at nearly 61. The next best is Josh Donaldson at 35 and change.
No, it's really been remarkable. His durability has been remarkable, and his ability to bring it to the ballpark every day and leave it all on the field is something that's unmatched. But the one thing about Trout, if you're going to throw him from the thigh to the knee, he is going to kill you. The teams that have success with him throw everything right around letter high and go get him a little higher than that.
That one in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike, and you see where he likes to hit the ball on the infield. It's to the pull side, but he can use all fields in the outfield, that's for sure.
Well, they're shading him a couple of steps right of center right now with Engel, about as far back as you can get, and just a couple of steps into right center. There's a big gap in left center.
Check swing, he went around 1 and 2.
That actually is the spot you're looking for. You want it up, and you would prefer it middle in. But up is essential, because we saw against Chris Sale, we saw a battle. 10, 11, 12 pitches. Finally, it was a changeup. It was literally ankle high, and he hit it out of the park.
Just missed the corner, 2 and 2.
That fastball at 95. So Lucas has got his really good fastball back. There's the slider. Let's see if he can throw it in a good spot.
2 and 2. A little bit up, 3 and 2.
This one doesn't miss by much. It's just at the upper reaches of the zone, and did not get the benefit of the call.
Payoff pitch to Trout. Upstairs, his 88th walk of 2018 for Mike Trout. And here's what you're going to see on our telecast, other than a Jose Abreu home run. This day in Sox history, I bet you can guess what that's going to be. It involves Dwayne Wise. Albert Pujols and exactly the context that he stands in right now. And around Major League Baseball, Carlos Gomez decided to do a little prop comedy. We'll show you that coming up later on. 1 on, 2 out for Upton, who's got a hit in 5 straight.
That time Trout faked as if he were going to go, and it would be no surprise if he took off. Number one, he's a premier base stealer, and number two, Lucas Giolito has had his problems containing base stealers.
There's a strike, 1-1. Trout 16 for 17 this year in bases.
Lucas has allowed 17 stolen bags this year. That's second most in the major leagues.
There goes Trout. Ground ball to first. It's past Abreu. Trout held up for a moment. He'll still get to third. And runners at the corners with 2 down for Albert Pujols.
Well, it is a good thing that Trout waited, because if not, this is a run. Upton shoots it through the right side. No chance at all for Abreu. And a good job of picking it up by Mike Trout. So you have to run the bases with both your eyes and your ears, because when the ball is hit behind you, number one, your ears will tell you the ball's hit. Number two, then you have to look around. And he did. He picked it up and trotted into third base.
So back from the DL, Albert Pujols, who was on the shelf with knee inflammation, activated today for this series. First one, wavers inside, ball 1.
Albert's been a prolific run producer his entire career. And even not quite 100%, he hasn't been 100% in a while. He's still got pretty good power numbers, 16 and 52.
Throw to first on Upton. Lucas in the first inning this year has an average against of 304. ERA at 9.
That's not good.
There's a strike, 1-1. But talking to Ricky Renteria about that before the game, he says Lucas is very emotional, but recently he's seen that emotion still come out, although for maybe a shorter period of time after whatever inning it is that created the emotion happened, and then he's more focused on what needs to go afterward. So we'll see if after the couple of base runners he can wind his way out of this jam. But that's part of being a young pitcher, right?
Yeah, it really didn't happen to him the last couple of starts. You see how effective he was, but it's been the command in the first inning that has really betrayed him at times. And the walk to Trout, although it was a good at bat by Trout, a deep at bat. Then the base hit to Upton, and he's in a jam. But fortunately, there are 2 outs.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball up the ladder, cuts down Albert Pujols, and Giolito is out of trouble in the first.
on NBC Sports Chicago. Starts at 5 with live coverage of the opening ceremonies, followed by a special on-location edition of Sports Talk Live. You can also stream it all on NBCSportsChicago.com.
That's the home of the Ducks right there. And they are going third jersey, old school Mighty Ducks the movie this year. They're bringing back the old Paul Correa, Teemu Solani looking things that they used to have.
I'm all for the throwback sweaters, as you will.
Did you ever throw a knuckle puck?
No.
When you were slinging it?
No, I didn't.
Just wondering. Ball and a strike on Matt Davidson, who's like a number of Sox players from Southern California. He's about an hour away in Yucaipa. Matt decided to stay with the team rather than go home, considering the traffic in this area. Sometimes an hour away doesn't exactly turn into an hour away.
Well, sometimes it's 3 or 4 hours away.
James Shields, a Californian. Lucas Giolito as well. Ricky Renteria went to his place here to check on the avocados. First base side, Pujols for out number 1. Here is Leori Garcia, who was a late add to this lineup. If you're just joining us, or even if you're not, Avisail Garcia was scratched late. He was ill and out of the lineup for tonight, which is too bad considering the way Avi's been hitting the ball.
I think Leary is very happy to find his way back in the lineup because he's been stinging it.
First pitch, Hunting in the air, right field side. Calhoun is there. For out number 2. If you don't like missing at bat resolutions, you shouldn't get up and get a pretzel when Leori Garcia is at the plate.
No, he will put the first couple of pitches in play, certainly, and sometimes has a hard time getting to 5 pitches and 3 at bats. But he's seen one tonight.
Is that a consolation?
Yeah.
2 down, Tim Anderson. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Cascom in Pittsfield, Illinois. Hi, Cascom. Hi, Pittsfield. How are we doing today? On the ground, Andrelton Simmons, so sleek over there, doesn't have time. Anderson beats it out on an infield single with 2 down.
Well, Simmons realized that going to his left, he wouldn't have any time at all to plant, so he tried to run through the throw, actually, and make up for the lack of arm strength with some quickness. Now, this isn't to intimate that he doesn't have arm strength because it's as strong an arm as anybody in the game, but it's just the way he was going to his left. He just didn't have a chance to get a whole lot on it. And Tim, sniffing a base hit all the way, beats it rather easily at first base.
3 of the last 5 years, Tim Anderson's counterpart, Andrelton Simmons, has a Gold Glove to his name.
Now he's a good one. And this sets up to be a good stolen base situation. Martin Maldonado has a very strong arm, but sometimes he's got some problems catching the baseball.
And that's going to be called a balk. Anderson going to second base.
It could very well be that he didn't step toward first again. We've seen that with Lopez on our ball club, and Mike Scioscia is most unhappy with Pat Hoberg on the call. We'll take another look at it. I don't know about that. I got to believe that Mike Scioscia might have a point there. Mike, the game's not fair. I'm telling you, pal, it's just not fair.
Looks a little irritated.
He's a little irritated, as Mike can get on occasion.
So a former Indians pitcher, among others, Charles Nagy, his pitching coach here in Anaheim.
And Mike's still a little steamed.
battery acid will stop dripping from his ears. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kevin Smith, who played the day game yesterday and walked in the 6th. The Sox catchers, as we've documented, have hit the ball very well since Kevin's arrival. One. Now 2 balls and a strike. Well, Maria gave up the run in the 1st inning on the Abreu home run, but it was not his longest 1st inning of the year. He had a 49-pitch 1st inning on April 22nd against San Francisco and didn't give up a run.
That's pretty amazing.
It was the day Brandon Belt had that really long at bat against him with foul ball after foul ball. He was the first pitcher to throw that many pitches in an inning and not give up a run since Nick Bierbrot of the Diamondbacks in 2001.
That's a lot of pitches without surrendering at least one.
Kevin Smith in the air to left field. Upton is there. Sox with a hit, but no runs to show for it. 1-0. A Jose Abreu home run on a summery night here in Anaheim, and our first look close up, and I know you and I are both excited about this, our first look close up at Shohei Ohtani, the two-way star who's only hitting right now, but you've heard so much about him, and we get to see him right in front of us.
Well, he is very strong, and they said in batting practice the other day, he hit one 513 feet, which off a batting practice pitcher is a good trick because there isn't a whole lot of velocity coming in, sometimes 65 miles an hour. So that is a very strong young man.
First pitch, a foul. That's not always fun. You see all the cameras shuddering every pitch. A huge contingent of Shohei Ohtani fans here in Anaheim. And this is just the beginning. I mean, when we were in Seattle, I was talking to some of the people upstairs about the arrival of Ichiro when he first got to Seattle, and there was a separate broadcast for about 5 straight seasons that was going back to Japan to cover Ichiro. Ohtani launches this ball to left field. Polka back at the warning track, and Daniels there. to settle the crowd down. One away.
That's a long way to hit it to the opposite field. Unfortunately, there was a couple of feet to spare. So Ohtani takes it all the way back. Daniel has that hit off the heel of the glove and roll up right into the web. So not without some adventure, but he made the play.
See the opposite field power there from Ohtani.
He's got big power to all fields.
One down for Ian Kinsler, who's not having his typical season this year. Over from the Tigers. Not as much hard contact this season.
Still a very aggressive hitter, always has been. Usually it's on the first fastball he sees. He's going to let it all go. That's the normal approach by Ian Kinsler.
Maybe a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lucas very close, tiptoeing around that bottom part of the zone. See the pull side, the favorite for Kinsler on the infield. Called a strike, 2-2. Your early assessment of Lucas's stuff tonight.
I want to see him settle down a little bit more so I can see the spin of the breaking ball. Right now the fastball looks good and he's got pretty good command of it.
That Upton base hit in the first was his first hit allowed on his 4-seam fastball in his last 3 starts. Southern California's own Lucas Giolito. On 2-2. Ground ball second base. Moncada round number 2. Saturday, August 11th. Come celebrate Jim Thome Day when the Sox take on the Indians. It's the Thome Bowl. First 20,000 fans to enter the ballpark get a Jim Thome Hall of Fame bobblehead presented by Wintrust. To get your tickets, visit whitesox.com. That's one you're going to want to have.
I would think so. More Sox fans on the road. There were a whole lot of them in Seattle.
It's like a combination of Steve Martin and Ricky Renteria.
Could very well be.
No,
Stevie
it's not.
Renteria.
Yeah, it's not Ricky Martin.
No.
Don't you think? A little bit?
Mm-mm.
That's a no?
No.
Huh. Always appreciate you playing along.
Yeah. I mean, normally I would say yes, but
It's more a no.
yeah.
0-2 on Maldonado. Yeah, a little bit, but you have to add Steve Martin to the guy on the right. Yeah, I'm totally in on that.
Yeah, but then again, your eyesight is, yeah.
Thanks. A little bit off the plate, 1-2.
Didn't miss that one by much. So when he's missed tonight on that fastball, at least he's not missing by a wide margin. So being around the plate, eventually that control is going to come to him and he's going to start getting those calls.
1-2 for Maldonado. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 punch outs for Giolito. 1-0 Sox.
in tonight's game.
Two innings in the books so far. And one great beard in the books. Looks like you can open a safe with that thing.
It's a quality beard.
Yeah. Yankees fan might have stumbled into the wrong ball game, but good to see a worldly baseball aficionado taking in two teams that he's not a huge fan of, or at least a hat fan of. Who was the first team you were a hat fan of?
The Indians, of course, being born and raised in Cleveland.
That was your first hat? Not Cavs or?
Well, I have no idea. No, Cavs weren't around yet. Not the Spiders either. The Cleveland Spiders weren't around yet either. There's the Pittsburghers.
I like random hats at baseball games.
Yeah,
neutral site
good.
fans. Adam braces and takes a strike on a slider from Berea, 1-1.
What Adam has not done a whole lot of lately is bunt, and with that in mind, you got Pujols even with the bag at first, and Fletcher even with the bag at third.
1-2 on Engel. A lot of Sox fans here in the crowd. One and two. That's strike three on a ball in the dirt. Maldonado to first. For the first strikeout for Berea. Bring your family of four to a White Sox game for as low as $49. Our family four-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, and 4 sodas. Upper level and lower level packages available. Check out all the available dates at whitesox.com/4packs today. That looks good. I don't even know what it is, and it looks good. Pretzel?
I would think so.
Did he go? Yes. Moncada with strike one.
That's the key to laying down a bunt, is staying around long enough to make contact. And that time, Yoan was running out of the box, thinking if he could get a step, make it a tougher play, but no contact.
We've talked a lot about Moncada and his battle with the changeup in his White Sox career, and just looking at some numbers earlier today, his swing and miss rate against the changeup, though we've still seen some swings and misses, his swing and miss rate against the changeup is actually down 14% this year from where it was last year, which is a good sign.
That's a very good sign. But you have a pitcher with an exceptional changeup on the mound. We'll see if he starts to throw it a little bit more.
Close pitch.
I would think if you're going to see the change, this would be a good time for it. Looking at Maldonado, that's a fastball. That is the change. That's the curveball or the slider. I think he's going with the slider.
Low and in. And he did go. Strike three. Close call. Moncada didn't like it.
Yeah, Moncada looks out at the crew chief, Jerry Davis, and did not like this call, but we've seen this happen a lot to Moncada. If it's close, he's not going to get the benefit of the call. That's just the way it's been till he establishes himself. He didn't think he went. Jerry Davis thought he went too far.
Two out for Sanchez. Yolmer got on briefly in the first with a single. He was then thrown out trying to expand it to a double by Justin Upton and left. Oh, 2. Pitch number 40 of Berea's night is rolled foul first base side by Yolmer Sanchez. youngest pitcher in the American League to get a win this year, at least at the time of his first win. He was 21 years old and change. Jaime Barria. He gets a bouncing ball to second, and that does it. First 1-2-3 inning for Barria. From field level,
Yeah.
What's the difference in Lucas Giolito's last couple of starts?
Oh, I think just finding his rhythm a little sooner rather than later. I think he's been attacking the strike zone a lot more effectively. He seems to have found the feel for his breaking ball a lot earlier in his last couple of outings. But again, I think it's more just continue to trust and confidence in the way he's been going about doing his business. I can see there's a tremendous amount of growth in the way he's approaching his games.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, for Lucas Giolito, who'd never experienced a full major league season, he was coming off not essentially being anointed as a major league starter and top of the rotation guy last year, but he was coming off such a successful final bunch of starts with the Sox that you could imagine he would want that and believe it's going to immediately roll into success this year. When he wasn't met with that, there were some hard times.
Well, unfortunately for him, he ran into some awful weather. It seemed like, as bad as the weather was, it seemed to be worse on his starts. And because of that, he lost all command of his breaking ball early in this season. And with that, eventually, came loss of command of the fastball. Because in the early going, he just had no idea where the ball was going. And if you're going to pitch for a living, you better be able to spot everything you throw consistently, or you're going to have difficulties. And he did. His ERA was otherworldly. Now it's gotten to the point where each and every time he goes out, he's going to give you a good solid game.
Anderson has it pop up on him, and the ball ends up in left center field, leading to 2 bases. Fletcher is on.
We'll check and see. It was a bad hop at the end, but Tim has been making that play. He didn't make this one. He coasts over to his left. He's there to make it, but off to the side, that ball just bounds right by him, and we'll wait and see what the score has. It was a bad hop. There is no doubt about that. And it goes as a base hit.
So 4th double for Fletcher in his major league career. And Cole Calhoun, the batter, to lace it to right field. This will score a run and tie the game. Calhoun on his way to second base with a double that ties the game at 1.
Well, fortunately for our Sox, Cole Calhoun, who was really scuffling, has started to heat it up. And even though that batting average is still down below 200, they need him. If he's going to hit at the top of this lineup, he's got to start getting on base, and that's what he's been doing a lot of. So he drives in his 30th run of the year. On this ringing double down the line, it's back-to-back doubles, and just like that, it's a tie game.
So here is Andrelton Simmons, who grounded out to third his first time up. First pitch hunting into right field. Garcia. Calhoun tagging. He's got a shot at him. Calhoun is safe.
That throw is just off the mark. If the throw was on the money, they got him at third base. Calhoun decided to test the arm of Liuri. It's a good arm, but this time it pulled Yolmer off the bag. He has to go the outfield side of third base. That opens up the inside part of the bag, the home plate side for the slide. And he's able to make it, throwing his body away from the tag.
So now, with a runner at third and one out, do you just walk Trout here?
I don't think I would walk him.
Too early?
Not yet. If I fall behind, 2-0, maybe.
Well, you can see the intent in the first two trips to the plate for Trout. Lucas wants to pitch him upstairs.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do to be successful. Infield in at all four positions.
In some ways, and pardon the pun, but that's fish in a barrel for Mike Trout, considering his ability with that stick.
Well, normally you'd say, okay, he's going to drive this one in, but he's only driven in 52 this year. That's a low total for him.
That run's coming home. Angle is underneath. Calhoun tags. And the Angels have their first lead at 2-1. Well, the RBI total's not his fault.
No, it's not. He just doesn't hit with runners in scoring position. But that time he got a rolling breaking ball. Not a difficult ball to hit in the air, and he was able to do just that.
The 2 in, bases empty, 2 out for Upton.
This is his third sacrifice fly of the year for Mike Trout.
Center field, angle all the way to right center. For out number 3, so the Angels swinging early in the inning to some success. built for baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, and it's Jose Abreu spraying a ball above the shrubbery in inning number 1, and a phew along with it.
Been a while since he hit a home run, and that is number 14.
So Jose, who's responsible for the lone run against Berea, goes after him a second time. Abreu one hit in the series against the Mariners. That was yesterday in the 7th inning on a 1-2 pitch. And we even saw after that swing, we saw sort of an outpouring of emotion as he was on his way to first base. He knows exactly what kind of funk he's been in, and he's been waiting for the fog to lift. Check swing, he did not go. And in Seattle yesterday, okay, here's the base hit. It's your run-of-the-mill single that he bloops into center field, but you see the fist bump on his way to first base.
Well, that was the one where he hit the ball foul on a couple of swings before and then got a base hit, and I think he was pretty happy about the whole sequence that took him to that point.
There's ball 4, and Ricky Renteria, certainly the Sox manager, has a sense of humor, because after that base hit that you just saw, Ricky asked for the ball to be taken out of play so he could give it to Jose Abreu as a gift.
You can't beat that. You got to have some fun. It's too long a year. There's too many struggles that come along with the game, and too many frustrating moments. When you have an opportunity to have some fun, you take advantage of that.
You have to, right?
You do.
And that's one thing through the ups and downs this year at 34-64, the Sox clubhouse has been good for.
Yeah.
It's been an upbeat place regardless of win or loss, for the most part. Ball and a strike on Palka, who lined a ball to center his first time. In the air, right-hand side. Kinsler out, Calhoun veering toward the line to make the catch. And here's your Sox Math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. Number of games in this series multiplied by the number of times the Sox have played the Angels this year before tonight. Add Nicky's jersey number and then divide the number of states bordering Lucas Giolito's home state.
Is this a trick question?
It's a little bit of a trick question. Yeah. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
The winner could win Steve's NBC Sports Chicago worksheet for tonight.
If we could find one of those, yeah, we would be more than happy to award it to some lucky fan.
On the ground, and 2. Rapid fire. 4th inning comes to an end for the Sox. 2-1 Angels with the lead thanks to a 2-run third inning, and Albert Pujols, who is the active leader in just about everything. Look at this list.
I would say, yeah, active leader in everything he's active in.
Sac flies, intentional walks, extra base hits, WAR, total bases, doubles.
And a special place in Cooperstown for Albert whenever he decides to hang him up.
Well, that run he went on early in his career, I mean, that was one of the best decades of baseball you'll see, right?
Yeah, he hit everything in sight. And I remember talking with Tony La Russa about where he would wind up.
Not at first base this time. We'll figure out where he was going to wind up in a moment. I'm going to give you a quick Sox math
Why don't you do the answer to Sox math thing, as I had to recuse myself.
Of course you did. Tricky Trip 702 is your winner. See, it's 0 in the second spot there, so that's 0 plus 30 divided by 3 states bordering California. You had that, so 10
absolutely
is your answer.
Yeah.
You were saying about Albert Pujols, though, and where Tony La Russa.
Right, because at the time he was playing some third, he was playing some outfield on occasion, and what Tony La Russa told me was eventually he would become a Gold Glove first baseman. And I said, any arrival time over there? He said, no, it's going to take a couple of years, but when he gets there, he's going to show you how good his hands really are, and that's exactly what happened. So Tony hit it right on the head, as he did a few things. Hall of Fame manager, did a nice job of it. And he correctly predicted that Albert Pujols would be a great first baseman.
Well, look, you take Pujols and his decade before Mike Trout, who's taken over the WAR lead since 2012. The Angels basically have the 2 best players in baseball over segmented time periods from 2000 to now. They're both in their lineup.
They are, but Albert is not the player that he was.
Oh, sure.
Obviously. So, I mean,
no, but when you look at the overlap of who the best player in baseball was at a given time, Ohtani has made his case at points this year, and he does again over the greenery for a home run.
Gives you an idea how strong he is, because that ball just kept on going. It's 396 to straightaway center field. Then there are the bushes, and then there's the hitting background. And Shohei Ohtani took a fastball and got most of it. If not every bit of it, it's a whole lot of it. That is his 8th home run. He's driven in 23. It's a blast. Lucas knew it was gone when it left his hand, and Ohtani had a pretty good idea when it left his bat.
Until you see it in person, you don't exactly know the strength he has.
Nope.
Because the body type doesn't necessarily suggest what we just saw.
No, but he's a lot bigger than he looks when you see him from upstairs, and a lot stronger than he appears when he swings the bat.
That went 435 officially.
Yeah, he's got a little more in the tank than that.
Gonna go ahead and guess the Angels didn't have that Japan Airlines sponsorship last year.
You never know. Good destination spot for them.
Seems as though they fly to center field.
And out.
2-2 on Ian Kinsler.
Look, Ohtani is terrific for baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly need our stars in the game, and for the Angels, if they are going to eventually allow him to pitch again, I think they should tell him forget about the splitter.
A little bit up, 3-2. You do, even though that's such a tremendous pitch for him.
First of all, he throws 100 miles an hour. His curveball and his slider both unhittable pitches. There's no reason to have to go to the splitter. I think the splitter is destructive for the elbow, and he's had 2 different years of elbow miseries. Why send him and have Tommy John surgery when you don't have to?
Breaking ball for strike 3, 2 down, and on that home run, we'll take a look at the StatCast numbers for Ohtani.
107.7 miles an hour on the exit velocity. I think it might have been a little higher than 30 degrees. It was a towering fly ball that just refused to come down.
To third base and Sanchez. Good night to the 4th inning. The Angels have a 3-1 lead.
Podcast featuring special guest Rick Hahn. Come out to Reggie's in the South Loop for this authentic fan event on Thursday, August 2nd. So for more information, visit NBCSportsChicago.com/event.
And now time for the White Sox Farm Report. It's presented by Guaranteed Rate, and it's Tanner Banks yesterday against Jacksonville, the Jumbo Shrimp. I cannot go watch one of their games. 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Tanner Banks in 16 starts, .257 his earned run average.
Pretty good.
That'll play.
A whole lot more of that. 10-3 this year.
Tanner Banks, who was an 18th round pick back in 2014 out of Utah. Started his year with Winston-Salem at a .254 there. That was his 3rd start with Double-A Birmingham.
Pretty impressive. Nice year. In the meantime, what's really news is that Leury took a pitch.
But the second one is down the line and fair. Into the corner it goes, rolling around the wall. Garcia digging for 3. Throw comes in, and he is there, sliding in head first.
That is a 3-base hit, even though Calhoun had some problems as that ball hugged the wall, came around, and Cole just bobbled it for an eyelash, and Leury was off to the races. He's got big speed, and he crushes this ball. Now watch Calhoun as he goes to get it. Has some problems right there, and that's all it took. If he catches it cleanly, maybe Garcia stays at second base. He doesn't. And Leury watching all the way. When he sees the bobble, now he's off to the races.
Well read.
As soon as he saw him drop it, he knew that he couldn't get him at third.
Off speed in to Tim Anderson, ball 1. Angels have the middle infield back with nobody out and a runner at third.
Anything hit to the corners, they're coming home.
2-0. '22-year-old Berea didn't like that wasn't a strike.
Ideal situation for Tim because Berea is really not a strikeout pitcher. So you look to make some contact here and drive home the run, get within one.
To third. Fletcher at the line. Nice play.
Fletcher's kind of an interesting player because he was born and raised in this area. His favorite player, David Eckstein, and so he wants to pattern his game after him. Now, David only wishes he had the arm that Fletcher has. He can play middle infield, but he's got a strong arm. David Eckstein's arm wasn't like that. His nickname was Just Enough because he got it to the bag about a half a step before all the runners got there. But Fletcher plays the game hard. They really like him, and he patterned himself after a guy with 2 World Series rings, David Eckstein. One with St. Louis and one with these Angels.
Well, you see the hope that David Eckstein provided so many young players when he was coming up. He was the guy who gave you the belief if you were shorter than the scouts wanted.
Shorter, you didn't have a great arm.
Right.
And your skills fit nicely into little ball. Because like David could bunt, he could hit and run, he could do all the things to manufacture runs.
On the ground left side, that will get the run home as Kevin Smith drives in Garcia. 3-2 your score in the 5th as your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. That's the at-bat that the Sox needed and Kevin Smith needed. Infield back, put it there, get the run.
Well, Tim hit the ground ball. Unfortunately, he hit it too hard and he hit it in the wrong spot. But the thinking was correct. Hit a ground ball, score the run, except for the guy he hit it to.
Ball 1 to Angle from Berea, who you mentioned he's had walk trouble all year long, but his last start was much better. He didn't walk anybody and only 1 so far through 4 2/3 this evening.
Well, he's facing the right team in our Sox, and the reason is they don't draw too many walks. I mean, this is a team that looks early in the count. They look to swing the bat. They do consistently, and for Berea, he's the kind of pitcher that has to get you out of the strike zone. If he has to stay in the strike zone to get you out, he's not going to get you out too often. So you would think that the teams that will wait him out will have much more success. Our Sox last in walks. So going up there early in the count and swinging doesn't allow him to get himself in trouble.
Left side, Simmons. And the Sox are through in the 5th, but it's now a 1-run game. Garcia scores it. Smith drives it in. fifth inning. Chuck Garfien, thank you very much for the update. David Fletcher takes a strike. He doubled in the third and scored. And you had mentioned, Steve, the comparison with David Eckstein. Mike Gallego in 2016, the farm director for the Angels, called him David Eckstein with extra vitamins.
Yeah, he's got a little more punch in the swing, a little stronger arm, different generation. So, but the same attitude toward the game and the same love of the game.
Giolito in a one-run game. Ohtani a home run. Calhoun an RBI double. Mike Trout a sac fly, providing the runs for the Angels tonight. That was very close, and the reach maybe caused the problem. Two and two. Breaking ball swatted foul.
You don't want to throw him too many breaking balls, especially middle in. The reason is that the defense is playing him as an off-field hitter. So if you slow it down too much, either a changeup or a soft curveball, that's a ball you can hit to left center, and that's going to be at least 2 bases.
Check swing. And he stays alive at 2 and 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes, I should say. Now it looked like Addison called that a foul ball. He threw his hands up to blow it dead, so
well, it says 3-2, both on
yeah. You saw him put his
our
hands up, though.
scorebook and their scoreboard.
Down the line right field, and that's a fair ball. Second double for Fletcher.
Using the whole field, that one just barely landed on the left side of the line, which is the fair side. He goes the opposite way and runs it into a 2-base hit.
Boy, quick bat.
He waited for that ball to get deep and took it the opposite way. Now you got a guy in Calhoun who is a dead pull hitter, and that's his job. He's got to hit the ball to the right side and move along Fletcher.
Fouled away, and it's time now for Old Dominion bringing his best. Cole Calhoun through June 30th was at 162. This month at 309, and part of that is the new batting stance. He's crouched down rather than upright where he started the year. And for a guy who's turned in some very nice seasons for the Angels and is going to be here for at least a couple of years, you'd imagine, unless he gets traded, it was a welcome sign. This time he is finished. Sanchez the catch, and a big 1 out.
He swung at a couple pitches that in that situation you shouldn't be swinging at because you couldn't pull them. I mean, you got 2 high fastballs. They were both middle out. Not the kind of pitch that you want to hit on the ground to the right side, which is what he was looking for. Unfortunately, the at-bat ends, and Fletcher's still at second base.
Now if you get Simmons, you keep Trout maybe away from even a chance, if you care to. 5th inning, I know, is still a little early for an intentional walk.
All has to do with the resolution of this at bat, however. Simmons has been swinging it very well.
First ball he's seen so far tonight. is up in center field. Giolito's frustrated. Fletcher into third.
When he ran around to make this throw, he realized that there was really no room to get the runner, and you don't have to let go of the baseball. He realized at that point that it was going to be an off-balance throw. He had really no chance, although Moncada did get there, but by taking something off, he threw the ball away, and now the infield is forced to come in. This is an ideal hitting situation for Simmons.
Completely alters the at-bat. As that's popped up on the infield for out number 2.
Simmons saw the opportunity on a hanging breaking ball to just hit a soft fly ball and drive home the run. But he had an off-balance, very awkward swing and couldn't do anything with it. So now you have the opportunity to pitch around Trout, take your chances with Upton.
Yeah, the Sox are going to walk him. So Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago White Sox in your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
The fans really hate when you take the star of the opposite team and put him on first base.
Take the bat out of his hand?
Yeah.
You know, Upton is a threat, certainly, but Mike Trout has a .452 on-base percentage. Yes,
and he's got some wonderful baseball caps.
His last name is a fish. How unmarketable could he be?
I would say in this case, pretty good.
First one outside, ball 1. You can actually, if you want, not give in to Upton as well and bring up Pujols, who is the less dangerous of the 2 hitters at their current times in their career. You could.
You could.
You don't seem too keen on that.
No, I wouldn't do it in this situation. However, you fall behind 3-0. Now I start thinking a little differently.
Yeah, I'm not saying give him first base, but you don't have to go middle to him.
No, he does strike out quite a bit, however. Upton is fanned coming into tonight. He's fanned 115 times. That's a lot of strikeouts and 358 at bats.
He had 180 of them last year.
Yeah, but that was deceptive because he hit in bad luck. They just weren't throwing it where he was swinging.
It's a great point. Yeah, poor guy. Trout at first, Fletcher at third after a leadoff double. Giolito on 2-1. There goes Trout, and it's lined back to our right.
That was right into the booth, currently occupied by the venerable Scott Reifert.
Scott had to put down his food and then go after the ball. There it is. Congratulations, a souvenir. Some nacho cheese on it, evidently.
I was going to say, third plate of nachos was the charm.
Let's all take note of who said that. 2-2 on Upton. Down and out. Trout is into second base. It's a full count for Upton.
17th stolen base for Trout. Would have stolen the last one, but the ball was fouled back.
Three balls and 2 strikes. On the ground and foul. What's your pitch to wipe away Upton here?
I don't think Lucas will throw it. I like something off speed. Because if you walk him, you walk him. But I have a feeling he's going to be swinging. He might be helping you out by swinging at something out of the zone. So we'll look in at Kevin Smith, who gives him a whole set of signs because Trout's at second base. And we'll see what all of that equates to.
with the water flowing behind him. Giolito on 3 and 2. That's ball 4.
They threw him a slider, but that one bounced in front of the plate. Nice stop by Kevin Smith, so it loads him up. Now Don Cooper will stroll to the mound. Surgically repaired right hand and all. Good news is the bandage is getting smaller and smaller.
That's right. He doesn't have a future as a typist, but he's done well for himself as a pitching coach.
Yes, he has.
One of the best you'll find. Don Cooper out to the mound to talk about the sequence with Pujols, who's coming off a knee injury, just off the disabled list today. And yes, he has 16 homers, but his OPS of 723 is not at all in the neighborhood of where it was in the past.
Career with the bases loaded for Al Bear. 14 grand slams, 317 batting average. And despite the fact he wasn't what he once was, he is still very dangerous.
Bases loaded, 2 out. So when Albert debuted back in 2001, Lucas Giolito was in the 7-year-old range. So for a moment, upon reflection, you'd imagine that Giolito would say, wow, I faced Albert Pujols with the bases loaded. And got an out, is how the story will end. On a ground ball to third. Sox navigate through trouble, 3-2.
Game 2 of the White Sox-Angels series. You can watch as Carlos Rodon returns to the mound for the Sox. Coverage begins at 8:30 with White Sox pregame live, or you can stream the game on the NBC Sports app. Remember, that's tomorrow at 8:30.
Neat job by Lucas Giolito to get out of trouble in the bottom of the 5th, allowing Moncada, Sanchez, and Abreu to come up in a 1-run game against Berea. And a special trip for Yoan Moncada, getting the opportunity to hang out with his son Robinson. We saw him in Seattle, and we've seen him now here in Anaheim.
Robinson swung a pretty good bat before the game today.
Yes, he did. The memories that, because of Dad's career, he'll always cherish. And this is before the game. Yoan playing pitcher, giving up taters to his little one. Make the tag, Yoan. They were playing in the dugout for a while before the game. Very neat to see.
And Robinson was swinging a big bat.
We're all big fans.
This is a good night for it. 88 degrees at game time. Not much of a breeze. And that one got a piece of Maldonado and got him just under the mask, probably pretty close to the throat. We'll take another look at it. One of the things catchers are taught, and it's really difficult because the natural instinct is not to do it. Maldonado didn't there, is to keep looking down. If you look down, you're not going to be able to get hit under the throat. That's one of the reasons for the extended little chin piece on a lot of catchers. But if you don't look down, you run the risk of getting hit under that, and that is startling. First of all, you can hardly breathe. And it reminds you that you keep your head down, you're going to be in good shape.
He doesn't have as low of a throat guard
No,
as some guys
he does
do
not.
on those masks. I want to check into and he may check into a newer model or lower guard. He's still feeling the effects there, but that's how it goes though. Umpire, catcher, whatever's not covered, you're going to get hit.
You're going to get hit, and it's going to go in streaks. Probably get hit again before this one's over.
Outside ball 4. Moncada takes a walk as we take a trip around Major League Baseball and show you a little fun in Tampa. That's the next road trip for the Sox. Tropicana Field and all its nooks and crannies. Mr. Gomez into foul territory, meets a fan, picks up the phone. Hey, how's it going? No, really, you can have it back. Just kidding. Always be ready for prop comedy when you're in the crowd. You never know what's going to happen. Much easier to do now than when there were bag phones. So now Berea has lost his command. At least it seems so.
And the pen is up and going and has been going for the Angels. It's Hansel Robles.
Yolmer Sanchez batting with Moncada at first, and we thank all the folks who are just joining us. You've missed a dandy so far. Close game. The Sox took the lead in the first. Jose Abreu a home run. Then the Angels grabbed it right back in the third with 2 runs plus an Ohtani homer in the fourth. Sox got 1 in the fifth, and here we stand. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti, and our entire wonderful crew here in Anaheim.
And Maldonado's going out there on instructions from the dugout. They told him go out there, kill a little time, allow the bullpen to get loose, and it is Robles. Mike Scioscia going through his set of signs.
Two 2-0. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Boy, he's missing arm side to left-handers over and over again.
Yeah, that's usually the case, that you don't stay closed long enough, and if that front hip flies open, it's going to take a shoulder with it, and the arm can't catch up, and you're going to keep it high and away to left-hand hitters.
3-0.
Now you'd have to figure Yolmer is going to be looking fastball all the way. That's what he should be getting.
Moncada at first, 3-1. Outside ball 4, back-to-back walks, and will that drive Berea from the game? It looks like the answer is yes.
So it's going to be Robles coming in. Berea is going to depart. And after back-to-back walks and the game on the bases, we will step out. Be back after these messages.
Blue Jays Friday, July 27th, 7:10 p.m. And be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. To get your tickets, visit whitesox.com.
Time now for the Lakeside Bank call to the pen. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And we've got our first reliever of the night, Hansel Robles. 29 games with the Mets and the Angels, 2-3 with an ERA just under 4. You look at the rest of the numbers, he's got good stuff. 36 strikeouts in 32 innings. Walks a little bit higher than he would like. And he inherits a couple of base runners. The tying and go-ahead run at second and first, respectively, for a man swinging it well right now.
Abreu a homer in the first and a walk in the fourth. And little did Robles know that when he was claimed off waivers by the Angels on June the 23rd that he was escaping a quarantine unit. He got out of New York just in time to avoid hand, foot, and mouth disease.
I know, that's kind of an interesting scenario for Mr. Syndergaard.
Hopefully Mr. Met doesn't get hand, foot, and mouth disease.
No, especially with the size of that mouth.
Yeah, it could be a pretty big doctor's bill.
If it goes to his head, they got a problem.
Moncada at second, Sanchez at first. And Jose takes ball 2. He can throw it hard, but can he throw it on target is the question for Robles.
It's only important if you're a pitcher.
Which he happens to have chosen as his vocation.
Mike Scioscia looking on eagerly.
2 balls, no strikes. On the ground and through, base hit. Moncada on his way home. Upton's throw is cut off, and the Sox have tied the game. Abreu's feeling it now. He's 2 for 2. He's driven in 2.
Pretty easy guess when you got a young pitcher struggling with his command to know you're going to get a fastball when it's 2-0. And he took it through the left side, drives in his second run, his 54th of the year, and Jose appears to be back, at least for this ball game. And one of the keys was not necessarily the home run and the single, the fact that in between he did take a walk. And when he's not seeing it well, he's not going to take any walks.
Because generally he's just not going to see a lot of pitches in the strike zone.
No, and he's going to attack it early, and it doesn't lead to walks.
Palka looks at ball 1. Favorable counts all over the place in this inning, allowing the Sox to tie the game. Two balls and no strikes. Hammered foul. This is a place where you want to get as many runs as you can to pad the lead as well as you can, because the Sox have lost 14 of their last 15 games in this ballpark. Bizarre things have happened here.
They have that. It's been a tough place to win for a long time.
Two and one. Beat into the ground foul. Certainly a place that in the past has had good memories for the Sox on the way to a championship in 2005, but in recent days it has been rather haunted. The Big A. Sanchez at second, Abreu at first. And Robles strikes him out. Palka down, one away.
Well, after showing you 97, then you go with the slider. This is down and out of the zone, but Daniel could not check it up. Nice stop by Maldonado.
One out for Davidson. And we'll see if Matt can find his swing here with 2 on the base pad. Matt takes a strike from Robles, 1-1. So far, 3 runs against Berea. Sanchez at second, and it's his property as well. .98 on that fastball.
98 in a perfect spot. That one was on the outside corner and no chance at all for Matt.
One and two. Challenged him with the fastball up to 99 that time. Strikeouts have not ever really been an issue for Robles out of the bullpen. It's just base runners. It's command and base runners. .27 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. One and two for Matt. Throw to third. Sanchez is safe.
With one out, a good time to attempt a steal, and Robles didn't look back at him, so he just took off. And Yolmer doesn't have the greatest speed, but this is just some good base running. He looks to see if there's contact, gets in with the left hand, and stays on the bag.
Fletcher decided not to keep the tag on him either.
And Yolmer helping Jerry Davis by telling him he's safe. He concurs.
Yeah. Two balls and 2 strikes. Runners at the corners, and now Robles wants to think it over. Fly ball gives the Sox the lead likely. This one in the dirt, 3-2. Garcia next. 2 walks in the inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and Mike Scioscia looking for answers along with Charles Nagy as the bases on balls mount. Three balls and 2 strikes. Off the plate outside. Davidson takes a walk. They are loaded.
Well, Mike Scioscia didn't like it. The umpires in the stands didn't like it, but the pitch was off the plate. And a good call by Ryan Addington. Didn't miss by much, but it did miss.
So now Charles Nagy comes out to talk to Robles. Maldonado there as well. And for an Angels team that's in the bottom 3rd in the league in walks from its pitchers, that is starting to be the albatross in the 6th.
Well, now because of the speed of Garcia, it changes what can happen on this play, because normally you got 1 out. Normally play your infield halfway, you look for 2. However, with the speed of Liuri and running from the left side, you're much more likely at the corners especially to come home with it.
Well, Leury's not been a big ground ball hitter this year. I mean, he's spraying line drives all over the yard right now. And we'll see what this first pitch does. Ends up behind him, 0-1. Sanchez at third, Abreu at second, Davidson at first. And that's way outside. We've seen the Angels to a T through 5 innings plus. They get the power from Ohtani, the great baseball from Mike Trout, a couple of walks, a sac fly. They get good pitching for a while, and now they've slammed on the brakes command-wise. That's called a strike.
It had the inside corner. Good call.
But this is the roller coaster Angels fans have been on all year long.
The toughest years are the years you're around 500. And the reason they're the toughest is you always think that 10-game winning streak is right around the corner. You believe you're a better team than a 500 team. And every time you get above it a couple of games, you fall below it a couple of games. You wind up in the course of a year being very frustrated because you thought you were going to do a whole lot better. Your team was put together with that in mind, and yet because of injuries in the case of the Angels to their pitching staff, and many guys they've had disabled, Ohtani being hurt, that's a huge bat out of the middle of their lineup, Pujols being hurt, so they've had their share of injuries, as have all teams. But those are the frustrating years, the years that you're real bad or real good. You know exactly how it's going to wind up for you.
In the air, left field. Upton at the line, circles. Sanchez tags, and he scores. The Sox retake the lead on this Monday night on a sac fly from Leury Garcia, scoring Sanchez.
So Leury gets the job done. He picks out something that he can hit in the air, hits it to the right man in the outfield because Upton doesn't have much of an arm. And the Sox go on top. Both of those runs charged to Barria, and he is done for tonight. 5+, 4 runs on 4 hits with 3 walks. Now the appeal at third base. No, says Ryan Addington.
When's the last appeal you saw work?
Right after Antietam. There you see he is tagged up perfectly. When your outfielder doesn't have a particularly good arm, there's no reason to leave early.
Good rule to live by as Anderson swings through a slider for strike 1. You mentioned Antietam,
yes,
which rarely do you have a segue for that. But the Cardinals today, from the rookie Daniel Ponce de Leon,
yes,
got a gem, 7 no-hit innings. Anderson flips it by the mound, and that's an infield single for Tim. The bases are loaded for the Sox and Kevin Smith.
that's the second infield hit for Tim Anderson, and Simmons, knowing it was a do-or-die play, came on, tried to barehand and throw in the same motion, but could not get it done as Tim streaking to first base. Even if he catches that cleanly, the ball is so slowly hit, you're not going to get him at first.
2 hits for Tim Anderson. And Kevin Smith will bat. But on the Cardinals and their rookie,
yes,
who did not find the fountain of youth.
The Ponce?
Yep. Jason Stark tweeted that this is the first time Ponce de Leon has been trending on Twitter since 1439. Our friend Jason.
7 no-hit innings, then to depart the ball game. What, 114 pitches, something like that?
Yeah, 116, I think, is what it ended up being. Although the number I quoted you the first time when we were off air was wrong. So,
well, it was too many pitches to let him go any further.
And then the Reds beat him.
Yes, they did.
2-1.
Jose Alvarez throwing in the bullpen. And there he is.
Just in case you didn't believe us. Ball and a strike on Kevin Smith. Ball's going all over the place.
Yes, it is. A big motion for Robles, one that he cannot command.
If there are Mets fans who decided that they were going to click around baseball and see what was going on around Major League Baseball tonight, and they clicked on this game, they're saying, we've seen this.
Yep. Good arm, though.
2-1. That's there. Or so. 2-2.
Kevin thought it was a little low. Can't argue too much. He's got a point here. It is down out of the zone. And a nice job of framing it by Maldonado, who normally is not the best at that, but he did a good job that time.
Bases loaded. 2 out. 2-2. Robles to Smith. Just out of the glove of Maldonado, who thought he should have hung on to it.
That's not anything you can do by design. If it sticks in there, then it's good, and if not, then he gets another pitch.
Two and two. And it hits him. 96 on the body. Kevin Smith drives in a run with a bruise.
It's a painful way to drive one home. But it's going to be the second. One on an infield ground ball, and this time getting unceremoniously plunked. Almost impossible to get out of the way of that one. Kevin did what he could do. He turned back in toward Maldonado, but could not get out of the way of it near in time. And that is probably going to be it as Mike Scioscia comes to the mound. Ask for the baseball. So Robles will depart, and as he does, so will we. We'll be back.
August 18th, 6:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get a Tim Anderson bobblehead presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Get started today at rate.com, and to get your tickets, visit whitesox.com.
Our Lakeside Bank call to the pen.
That was Lakeside there. It was
Yes.
Rockside Lakeside.
I know. Here it is again. a double leg side. Jose Alvarez comes on with the bases loaded. He's been a very busy man. He's been in just about every game. There you see the numbers, and they're very impressive. 51st appearance of the year. Yikes.
The rubber-armed left-hander.
Must have had a very good all-star break, sleeping.
That's where you start paying somebody to pick things up for you.
Yes, like your head.
You did it the right way. When you came out of the bullpen, you were terrible, so nobody would ever call on you to do that.
That's exactly what happened.
Right?
I convinced them it would be better for them to leave me exactly where I was, in the pen.
No balls and a strike on Engel. Ninth batter of the inning for the Sox as Adam has a nice take, 1-1. Over 40 pitches now for the tag team of Barria, Robles, and Alvarez here in the 6th. High into the night sky in Anaheim. And softly for out number 3, but the Sox yank back the lead. 3 runs across, 5-3 Sox. You know where this is going. It was 9 years ago. Tampa Bay was in town. Gabe Kapler sent it to left center, and Dwayne Wise covered an entire county to make the play, and then the final out. Alexei! Yes! 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 History! Mark Burley's perfect game, and Gabe Kapler said earlier this year, he was asked about it, and he said, I'm glad Dwayne Wise made that catch because I think it was great for the city. And nice tip of the cap from the Phillies manager, but you made the point before, it's all that more remarkable because of the ground he had to cover. Here's out number 1.
That and the fact that he was relatively just put in the ball game. So whenever you bring a guy in like that, cold off the bench, as cold as you can be at that point, you don't expect him to have the biggest play of his career within one batter of coming in the game. But that's what happened.
And what you may forget is, too, Dwayne Wise earlier that year had separated the shoulder that he ran into the wall with. He said before that he would have gone over the wall if he needed to make that catch.
It was great timing, and You're right. He covered an extraordinary amount of ground just to get there.
What was the ballpark like that day?
Pretty much electric, as he kept going and going and going. And of course, with Mark Burley on the mound, you just don't have a lot of time between pitches to figure out the significance of what's happening, but he just kept on mowing him down.
I've had people all day tweeting where they were when it happened. I had somebody tweet in that they had given their tickets away that day,
Yeah.
which is not a great call.
True.
Not even to go see about a girl, just to give them away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler from Giolito, and Ian Kinsler is one of the few guys in this order who's seen Lucas before, because Kinsler was with the Tigers last year. He's 0 for 4 career against Giolito. We'd like to thank all of our viewers who are with us, because we are the last baseball game on earth.
At this point, if you want to see it, you got to be here.
So thanks for joining us. Ball 4, Kinsler walks, 4th walk, 3rd unintentional for Giolito. Why don't you tweet at us, at Jason Benetti, at Steve Stone, if you're a fan of some other team, but you're watching our game, because we're the last game in baseball. We don't get this opportunity all the time to be the final game in town. So
No, very rarely.
let us know where you are, who you're a fan of, your birthstone, whatever you want to tell us.
Anything you could think of. There was a time when Kinsler was a lock to run here. He runs, but not quite as often. 8 steals, been caught 4 times.
Maldonado, who a couple of years ago was traded for one of the great names in baseball, Jet Bandy. It's Jet with 2 T's. There goes Kinsler, and he is safe.
Very good jump. 9th stolen base by Ian Kinsler. And that's the 2nd stolen base of the night against Lucas, who came in 2nd most stolen bases in baseball. And add 2 more to that total.
I love our fans, by the way. Allie White Sox tweets in, I'm a White Sox fan and my birthstone is a topaz. We have very literal fans.
That's good.
Bennett Carroll tweets in, my birthstone is Steve Stone.
Ooh, I like that.
Line foul left side.
That ball crushed, but well foul off the bat of Maldonado.
Ball and 2 strikes. And he struck him out. Giolito wipes away Maldonado. And the 5th strikeout for Lucas tonight.
Good hard slider low and away. Perfect spot. Maldonado could not check it up and missed it by plenty.
Kazuto Yamazaki tweets in, he's watching from Tokyo, tuning in for Ohtani and to some extent Giolito. We have
Can't beat
fans
that.
from around the globe
We do.
with birthstones that may be real based on the tweets I'm getting. Fletcher takes inside, and the reason I qualify that is because 6 Drums tweets in, watching the Sox in Oak Forest, my birthstone is kidney stone.
And that's not good.
That's not a real birthstone.
And if it was, you'd be in real big trouble.
Yeah. 1-0 on Fletcher. Throw to second, and more peril.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Yuan saw that because he was pretty much screened out, but able to make that catch. I think he just put the glove down, the ball stuck in it. No, there's no way he saw that. Because Kinsler crossed right in front of the baseball, and Yuan just had it stuck in the glove. He just is mentioning it now, I believe.
Now Don Cooper wants to have a discussion with the troops. Jeremy tweets in my birthstone, and it's just a video of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So there's the bullpen, Cedeno and Minaya.
Cedeno's been up a while, so he's loosened up and ready to go.
2-0 to Fletcher, who's been a very difficult out. Kind of get the feeling that if you haven't seen him play, you come in, watch him for a series, you're just bound to like David Fletcher.
Did a good night tonight.
Lucas got a swing and a miss inside, 2-2.
Lucas getting ever closer to the 100 pitch mark. That time he threw one inside off the plate. And he tied up the count.
Foul third base side, still 2-2. Giolito tonight, 9 swinging strikes, 18 called strikes. Out of 11 changeups, this is a good sign. 11 changeups, 3 called strikes, 2 swinging strikes.
That's good, because that was a trouble spot for him.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Kinsler at second. And nice pick by Kevin to keep Kinsler right there.
You can see some problems in the first. That has been his pattern, but then he got more consistent, wending his way to 100 even.
Three and two. On the ground, Jose at first, and Giolito maneuvers through 6 with the lead. California Kid has the advantage to the 7th. Quiz Steve on his own career. How many times did you strike out Frank Robinson in 1973? Very specific today.
In 8 at-bats?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was more than 2 and less than 5. So that leaves me with what, 4?
Roughly 3 or 4, yeah.
I'll say 5.
You'll say 5.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Yeah, I guess.
It's all on the line here.
Okay.
All of it.
I win the championship or an ignominious defeat?
Somebody actually tweeted in and suggested that we have it's late. A signed stone on the prize shelf. You sign an actual stone. It's very on the nose.
It is.
Think it over for when we get back home.
I'm going to allow you to carry back with you the 186-pound Unspunnus stone.
Is that it?
No, but it's close.
Which stone was that? Was that your German
Unspunnus
brother?
stone. No, that's the one that Ovaltine used to throw the guys many years back.
Ovaltine?
Yeah, that was the commercial.
Like more chocolate Ovaltine?
Yeah, that was it. The Unspunnus stone. If you carry it back, I'll sign it.
Makes me think we should have some sort of spelling quiz on our telecast. Sox took the lead in the 6th. Giolito with the advantage. This ground ball is past Simmons at shortstop. Moncada on for the 2nd time. And a hit against a left-hander.
Well, if he's going to hit left-handers at any time, he's going to hit them on this road trip because he saw way more than he's seen out of Seattle. He had a lot of right-handed at-bats. He's been on twice tonight, scored a run, this time driving it by a very good shortstop in Simmons. And a nice way to start it off, looking for a little insurance.
Sanchez takes ball number 1. Well, you said it earlier, the Sox are last in baseball in walks taken, but in the 6th inning they showed the value of patience, walking 3 times. Kevin Smith hit by a pitch as well, and they built a whole inning out of it.
Angels bullpen up once again.
It's fouled off Maldonado, 1-1. Let's see if you got sticks and stone right. Your answer was 5?
Yeah.
All right. You win one of those rocks. Oh, you're right. Congratulations. You have to go get your prize.
How about that?
Congratulations.
He was 1 for 13 with 7 strikeouts apparently, but
Wow.
bear in mind something. I faced him very late in his career.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see him early in his career when he was really quick, because he would stand right on top of the plate and dare you to throw it inside. And when I got to him already, he was pretty well down as far as talent was concerned. He was older. As Anderson loosening up, Justin Anderson.
Ball and 2 strikes. Who was the guy the first time you saw him when he got in the box you thought, oh, that's a big dude?
Frank Howard.
Oh my goodness.
Frank Howard was a large fellow.
I met him once.
Yeah, he's
like, where? How,
he's enormous. He liked the building.
how can someone be that big?
Big and wide.
One and 2 for Sanchez. Fouled back.
Nice battle by Yomer.
Well, the Angels are down a couple of guys in the bullpen because of the moves they made today. They had to activate Barria, who in sort of a paper shuffling move was on the Inland Empire 66ers roster. The 66ers. That's the A-ball team for the Angels. And then with Pujols coming off, they shed a reliever as well. The Sox are one of the teams that is least likely to use the AAA to the Major League shuttle, at least this year, to use that 7th, 8th spot in the bullpen as a rotating spot. Sanchez fans, one down.
It was a good breaking ball and had Yolmer swinging over the top of it. So with Jose Abreu coming up and Anderson in the pen, that looks to be it for Alvarez. So Justin Anderson will come in the ball game. Alvarez will depart, and we will move to a break.
This unbeatable deal Wednesday, August 1st, as the Sox take on the Royals, 7:10 p.m. Brought to you by Securing Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at securingit.com, and for tickets, visit whitesox.com/dollardogs today, or just call the Mustard Man.
It's our Lakeside Bank call to the pen. Getting a whole lot of use this inning. And Justin Anderson comes on for the 36th time. He's 2-2, his ERA, a good one at 3.34. He inherits Moncada at first. Good time to try to steal a bag is this situation. Looking for a little more insurance with a guy swinging it very well in Jose Abreu.
Suddenly he's climbed out of whatever he was in, and Jose 2 for 2 tonight. Throw on Moncada. I have to share one more tweet. Mark Hope has tweeted in, will you be eating any bugs at the stadium this series?
Could very well be. I mean, you exhausted the grasshoppers last time out in Seattle.
It's true, but the best part of the tweet is his birthstone, he says, is Rock Reigns.
Jeez.
I like it. There goes Moncada. And it's dropped by Maldonado. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, we told you he's got a nice arm, but he doesn't hold on to the ball all that well. And so Moncada swipes it easily. With that jump, he probably would have swiped it anyway. But then when Maldonado missed it, it became a moot point, as they say. Stolen base number 10 for Moncada. Been gunned down twice.
A 2-0 on Jose, with Polka coming next. And the Angels bullpen having great difficulty getting outs. Sox providing lengthy, workmanlike at bats. Two-0. That's there for a strike on the corner.
Juan Minaya throwing in the pen for our Sox.
Anderson taking too long, and Abreu calls for time. A lot of rookies on this Angels team. Anderson in his first year up in the big leagues. Mainly fastball, slider. And there's that slider, 2-2. Moncada at second, 2-2. That's in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes from the former Roadrunner, Justin Anderson, out of Texas San Antonio.
They are the Roadrunners?
Yeah, they drop anvils on their opponents. They only have one corporate sponsorship, though.
It's a good logo.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Sox with a 3-run 6th inning tonight. And the payoff. Grounded back to the mound. Moncada was caught up for the moment, but retreats to second. Anderson makes the throw to first. 2 gone.
Pitchers a lot of times don't know just how hard that ball's coming back to him. So for Anderson, he put the glove out right away, and then the ball didn't get there. So by the time it did, he did not have a play at second base. Took the out at first. Off the end of the bat, Anderson put the glove up, and then the ball didn't get there. It's pretty hard to read it off the bat, knowing how quickly it's going to get back to you. That time, a lot more slowly than he would have thought.
Two down for Daniel. Ground ball up the middle. Kinsler. Nice roving play to retire the side. It's stretch time in Anaheim, and the Sox hold the lead by 2.
Debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC. And we got a new pitcher in the ball game, and it is Xavier Cedeno. He's been throwing it very well, on for the 17th time. No record, 1.42 ERA, 15 strikeouts and 12 2/3. And so with left-handers doing nothing with him, he comes in to try to protect the 2-run lead.
It will be against the top of the order, Calhoun, Simmons, and Trout. And if you ever wanted incentive to go 9 up, 9 down the final time through somebody's order, you got it here, because if you do that, then you only face Trout once.
And you would think that Cedeno's coming on for just Calhoun. And then with Simmons, Trout, Upton, and Pujols all right-handed, look like it's going to be Manaya if he's still throwing.
Lucas Giolito, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 4, struck out 5. One of those walks was intentional to Trout in the 5th. Oh, and 2 on Calhoun. Now, he's improved, as we told you, but against left-handers, the numbers are still quite low, Calhoun.
Especially with that Cedeno curveball. I don't think he's going to catch up with it, or a fastball upstairs. Not with that uppercut swing.
Breaking ball, strike 3. 3 pitches to the punch out for Cedeno, and Calhoun wiped away.
A really easy dispatching of Cole Calhoun.
So it will be Cedeno against Simmons. Now, the interesting guy in this portion of the order is Upton, because his on-base average, as that one's hit to left field in Polka, he's been much better, more valuable of an offensive player against right-handed pitching. Upton has than he has left-handed pitching, but Ricky Renteria believes in Cedeno as an out-getter. So that shows here with Trout coming up and Cedeno still on the mound. I was with you, though. Ricky Renteria has played matchups a lot this year late in ball games.
He has that. But Cedeno's been throwing it real well, and he's entrusting him to get him out of this inning. Dan Cooper keeping track of the pitches.
Two 2-0 on Trout, who is signed here through 2020. Coop's going to the phone. Now 3-0. That's Manaya, the subject of the phone call, you have to imagine.
That was it. Is he ready was the answer.
Three balls and a strike to Trout. Off the plate, ball 4. Trout on for the 3rd time via the walk. And that brings up Upton.
So Ricky Renteria is going to go to the pen. It's going to be Manaya. And the night is done for Cedeno. He will have thrown 2/3. His responsibility. Mike Trout at first base. And so as he walks out, so will we. We'll be back. in, facing the tying run. Manaea for the 23rd time. He's 0-2, but the ERA is shrinking. It's 3.38. 24 strikeouts and 18 2/3, and he's got to face a pretty strong hitter in Justin Upton.
Well, there are a couple factors at play here, as the rally monkey is one of them. There are a couple factors at play. Upton has been much more powerful against right-handers this year. His OPS is about 250 points better against right-handers. However, quite a bit of that has come against right-handed breaking balls. He's got 10 home runs against right-handed breaking balls. Manaea is really fastball splitter more than anything, and he'll mix in the slider a little bit. So it's part arsenal in this case. And there's a strike.
Good fastball.
You would imagine, based on that intel, Ricky Renteria does not want Manaea throwing a lot of the slider in this at bat. There goes Trout. Second stolen base of the game for Mike Trout.
He beat the play at second, but I don't know how recommended one of these are. He did get in. He was in fairly easily, and that's his second stolen base of the night.
One. That was the slider, and it missed.
Got Jace Fry loosening in the pen.
Two and two. There is the left-handed Jace Fry. Trout at second, Upton at the plate. Two-run ball game. Now full. Albert Pujols on deck. The active leader in most offensive categories you can find. Three and two. Called strike three. He kicked the corner and outraged Upton. Manaea takes the Sox with the lead into the eighth on the fringe. $2.99. Watch every Out of Market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Juan Minaya did the trick, Steve.
He threw the slider, threw it over the outside corner, and got the benefit of the call.
So Davidson, Garcia, and Anderson coming up in this 8th inning. Sox with a 2-run lead thanks to a 3-run 6th. And we thank you for joining us for the last game on Earth tonight. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Everything else has gone final. And in a shocker, Boston beat Baltimore earlier. You never know about baseball.
Baltimore is scuffling a touch.
Off the net, 1-1. Davidson. Manny Machado has gone to Los Angeles, and he's picked number 8 here in LA.
It's a good number. It'll probably find you playing a whole lot.
Some people thought that he was saying that when he was in Baltimore, he would have wanted number 8, but that number is not available.
Sure, a few people want number 7 when they play for the Yankees, but probably they're not going to get that, nor are they going to get number 8 in Baltimore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That speculation, though, was inaccurate. Manny Machado said that he wanted number 8 as an homage to Kobe Bryant, one of the greats in LA history in any sport. So he wants to be the next Kobe here.
We'll see if that holds up through next free agent class.
Well, I'm sure he'll tip his cap to whomever plates it with the most gold.
Yes, I would think so.
Well, the Dodgers entered play today a game and a half up on Arizona. They won at Philadelphia. Diamondbacks also won 7-1 at the Cubs, so that still 1.5 separation.
And now Manny Machado, I believe, is going to move back to third base.
Seems like it with Turner going on the DL.
Yeah, that was an oddity for him, although he's a Gold Glove third baseman. And when you look at the defensive numbers across the board for Machado, they are way down there as far as the zone ratings for defense. Not good at shortstop.
Three and 2 to Matt. And he fouls it away. We are just about a week away from the non-waiver trade deadline, when a whole lot of things could shake up in the American League, especially.
You would think there's a lot of very busy general managers right now.
Davidson back-to-back walks.
Let's take a look at the high-speed action powered by Xfinity. And it comes off the bat of Leury Garcia. He drills this ball into the corner, and then Cole Calhoun has some problems with it. And Leury can really turn it on. Home to third in under 12 seconds. That's pretty good. Blake Parker loosening in the pen for the Angels.
Garcia goes after the first pitch.
Not a surprise. He loves the first pitch. There is Blake Parker.
Late cut, 0-2. Sox will play the Angels again very late in the season as we move into September at Guaranteed Rate Field. Sox still have home series left with the Red Sox and the Yankees. Cleveland as well. among the playoff contenders in the American League. 0-2. One away. So here's Tim Anderson, who last time had a dribbler pass the mound for his second hit of the ball game. Tim's going to have a big cheering section here throughout the series. His father will be in attendance, grandparents. Just a lot of pitches from the Angels bullpen tonight.
That looked like a pretty good one. He didn't get the benefit of the call.
One and one as we have the battle of the matrix here. Mr. Anderson on the mound for the Angels and Mr. Anderson at the plate for the Sox. Only one shall win. One. To third base, Fletcher spins it to second, gets one. The peg to first is not in time. The Angels may challenge.
I think they want to take a look at that. It was very close. A nice turn by Kinsler at second. Good play by Fletcher at third. And Mike Scioscia's got nothing to lose at this point. He wants him to take another look at that.
Do you think real time they got him?
Looked to me like he might have been in the air when the ball hit the glove, but Chad Hoberg on the call. Really close. Really close.
I don't know.
Looks like with that angle that he was safe.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was the first time I thought he was safe.
Well, we'll have to see what they say in New York.
Again, you need definitive proof to overturn the call of safe on the field. So is there enough to overturn? And I don't know that you and I have seen anything that would suggest you have enough to overturn here.
Not yet.
Is it in the pocket of the glove? Let's see.
Looks like the foot's on the bag before that one is securely in the pocket.
All right, so it's not in yet. Tim's on the bag. I think he's safe.
He's safe.
Good look, guys, in the truck. And safe the call, as you saw from Desiree in our tape room. On the replay, Anderson is safe. It is truly remarkable how many of these the umpires get right real time. And I know you want it to be 100%, and we all do. But generally, these guys are very good at their jobs.
They are that.
Two down, one on, Kevin Smith. Angels in the home eighth will have Pujols, Ohtani, and Kinsler coming up.
That's a balk.
It is.
That's a balk. He broke his front leg. And the last time Mike Scioscia had a legitimate argument. This time it looked like it was a balk.
I think he wants to get run, Steve.
Well, he's had a few calls go against him tonight. Ed Hoberg is going to say that he broke the front leg before he came to first base. If either of your legs bend at all before you come to first base, it's going to be a balk. Take another look at it. Looked to me like the front leg broke. When that happens, and look, those are some really good moves. If you can, at the same time you throw to first, bend your leg, that's what base runners key on.
Right.
And when they key on that, they start to take off. Then you come to first base. You're going to pick them off most of the time. But it is an illegal move.
It's been Tim both times.
Yep.
Base runner on each balk. Punched up the middle into center field. And Kevin Smith, the final out of the top of the 8th. Sox lead by a pair. White Sox fans, don't let your setbacks limit you. Start your comeback today by visiting Athletico.com to request your complimentary injury screening and have your pain or injury assessed by our experts for free. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Javi Garcia comes in the ball game. So he plays right, and because of that, Liuri shifts over to play left. Daniel Polka is out of the game.
And Avi, who went to get checked out, was ill before the game, got checked out, came back to the ballpark. We were told that he was here, but unlikely to pinch hit, and he comes in as a defensive replacement. There is Avi soldiering through. Benaya misses outside, 1-2. If this goes even close to, according to Hoyle, you end up avoiding Trout until tomorrow. However, Albert slashes one down the line. He's going to go for 2, and now he slams on the brakes. The ball gets away. He's already rethought it, so he's over at first.
Well, it's fortunate he was not looking out at the field of play, because the relay throw got away and he might have been able to make it, but he put on the brakes a whole lot earlier and stayed right there. So he takes it down the line, now thinking about 2, and then decides, uh-oh, I better go back. and was not watching as that ball got away. So now Ricky Renteria goes to the mound. And that is going to be it for Manaea. So Jace Fry is going to come into this ball game, and we'll step out and be back. Jace Fry. He comes out for the 32nd time. His ERA at 3.90. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Left-handers hitting under 100, and that's how Ohtani is going to look out at Jace Fry.
Okay, so Ohtani in his major league career has 0 hits against non-fastballs from left-handers. Pitches like that. Breaking balls, off-speed pitches. He has no hits against left-handed non-fastballs in his career.
Problem is, if you fall behind, you have to go at him with a fastball. And now he's fallen behind the first 2 curveballs well out of the zone.
Ohtani homered to center field in the 4th. He sold out on that one, 2-1.
Looking fastball, he got a slider.
There's a fastball inside, 3-1. He's there for a strike with Pujols at first, who just passed Ricky Henderson for 25th all-time in Major League Baseball. On the hit list at 3,056. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went away from Ohtani, and Fry buries the Angels rookie, 1 down.
He got to the point where he realized one more curveball would get him. He throws it hard, he throws it low and away, and he gets it. He really pulled off that. Looked to be a hard slider instead, and so now Ricky Renteria comes out again. And that's going to be it for Jace Fry. So Jenmar Gomez, come on in. We walk on out. Bank called to the pen, and it is Genmar Gomez. He comes on for the 4th time. His ERA of 3.86.
When I was a kid, every time we went to the bank, I got a lollipop. How come that doesn't happen anymore?
You could very well do that. Yep, they're available to you
Where?
at Lakeside Bank.
It's about time.
It is about time. There you look at the numbers for Genmar.
And he'll face Kinsler, who walked last time and stole second base. Kinsler does have some pop in that bat with 12 homers this year.
And he's usually looking first ball fastball. That has been his history.
He takes a strike.
Took that one down the middle of the plate.
2 for 9 career against Gomez for Kinsler. In the air, third base side, foul territory. Sanchez in the circle. Look out for all of the memorabilia. 2 down.
Well, you have to be careful about the weighted bat, the rosin bag, and a few other assorted things. Elmer goes over, steps on the bat. Fortunately, doesn't come away with a turned ankle. And Luis Valbuena coming on a pinch hit. Valbuena 1 for 15 this year as a pinch hitter with 2 runs driven in. He does, however, have 9 home runs. And there is Luis Avila.
So let's see. Will it be Avilan for Valbuena? Is there enough time?
I would think it appears so.
Ah, yes. It is empty the bench Monday for the Angels and White Sox in the series opener. The native son from 30 miles away or so, where he grew up, showered with ironic praise by the Angels fans. Avilan.
Although they've announced Avilan, it took Ricky to actually motion for him to be able to get the job done. So
Lakeside.
here he comes, carrying Lakeside with him. Luis Avilan will be back. And it is Luis Avila on for the 45th time. And we've got a new hitter coming on. Of course we would, as Luis Avila comes into this. ERA of 4.13, 2-0 record. It's Jeffrey Marte coming on to pinch hit. Send in your cards and letters. If this one goes extra innings, you will come out of the bullpen to pitch.
Scott Radinsky is the bullpen coach for the Angels, and he had some time with the Sox, so maybe he can suit up. Pujols is still at first base. Marte, the hitter. Albert at first is the property of Juan Minaya from 3 pitchers ago. Since then, Fry and Gomez both have gotten an out, and Avilan's into the game. In the dirt, Smith in front of it. Well, if you don't get this out, you're basically guaranteed to face Trout then in this game.
Could very well happen.
You want to get Marte here for many reasons. One swung through 1-2. Mike Trout, who's walked 3 times and has a sacrifice fly. He's in the 3 spot. This is the 8 position in the order. If you get Marte, it's Fletcher, Calhoun, and Simmons scheduled in the 9th. 1-2 outside. Well, with Maldonado being pulled in this spot, that means Briseño is going to be the catcher. So Jabari Blash, the only remaining position player not to be used for the Angels at this point once Briseño comes in. 2-2. Big chopper, foul right side. '27-year-old Jeffrey Marte, who came up with the Tigers originally 3 years ago, and now in his 3rd season with the Angels. 2-2 from Avilan is spiked. Four relievers in the inning for the Sox as Fletcher awaits on deck. And time called before the 3-2 comes. Payoff. Hit in the air left field and hooking foul.
Joakim Soria loosening in the bullpen.
Three and two. Called strike 3. Up in the zone, Marte vanquished. And the tag team champions of the world in the Sox bullpen successfully finish off the 8th.
for the Angels. Blake Parker comes in the ball game on for the 44th time. Fine ERA of 3.05. He's been called on to save a ball game 13 times, been successful 10, and his new battery mate, Jose Briceño.
Angle first. He fouls it back. So Parker, the former position player turned reliever, facing 9-1-2 for the Sox. A lot of stuff going on there.
There is that.
Middle name is Rube Goldberg.
Well, he's got a whole lot of movement.
Repeatable?
Sure.
It's as though Jeff Bagwell were pitching. High in the air, back of home. Foul. The scramble is on. Two balls, two strikes. Up the middle, base hit. Engel's first hit tonight.
Got a hold of a fastball, drove it right back up the middle, and now you set up a good stolen base opportunity. With Briceño just in the game, well, you want to test out his arm and see exactly what he's got. Adam 10 out of 13 in stolen bases. And a huge lead at first.
All that going on from Parker. See if he pays any attention. He does. Adam kind of spun his wheels for half a second and then got back.
That was just a courtesy toss over there as you look at the seasonal numbers for Adam Engel.
Another throw to first. Adam getting to test out that short range agility that was so important to him on the football field back in the day. He always aspired to be an NFL player. Got all turned around and went to Major League Baseball instead. Turned out okay.
Made the wise choice.
Late in the process, he was eventually offered by Brett Bielema, who was then at Wisconsin. But Adam had already decided to go to Louisville to play baseball and made it to the majors.
That's a nice size lead, and he'll probably get another foot or so on it.
Verging on 13. And it shrinks before your very eyes.
Well, eventually, Mr. Parker's got to throw the ball home.
Does he?
Yeah. And
by rule?
When that happens, especially with a 1-0 count, you would think no pitch out would be forthcoming. This is a good pitch to run.
Parker comes home. Adam stays. Called a strike. Blake Parker, who's been claimed by the Angels twice on waivers, once in October of 2016, once in December of 2016. In between then, he was a Brewer for about a month. Adam doesn't run. Parker feeds in a strike. At pitch time then, it was a 14-foot lead for Engel. One and two. In the air, right field. Calhoun has a play. Engel thought about tagging, and one down. Good news from the minors today, by the way. Ryan Cordell was activated from the disabled list. He was sent down to AA Birmingham. He had broken his collarbone earlier in the year. One of those outfielders we heard a lot about in spring training, and he got injured early in the season, so he's in AA now, and Eloy Jimenez in AAA was named the International League Batter of the Week.
Yeah, coming off the injury list, he hasn't slowed up at all.
And from what we've seen, he's going to the opposite field. He's going pull side. He's hurting off speed pitches. It's the whole package right now for Jimenez. Sox with a 3-run 6th inning tonight to take a 5-3 lead as Engel draws more attention. Well, happy Tuesday to everybody in Chicagoland. Adams started to go, and Yolmer swings through a strike. The Angels in the 9th will have Fletcher, Calhoun, and Simmons. And let's hope it stays there, because Trout is the 4th batter due up. And if he comes up, he's pretty much guaranteed to have a runner on.
I would think so.
Unless something worse has happened. Engel runs, strike taken, throw is not in time. Engel steals second base.
Decent throw by Brasinho, and that stolen baseman sitting there. Adam finally takes off and then steals it just ahead of the tag. Straight steal all the way as Yolmer pulled the bat back. No intention of making any contact at all. And Engel steals his 11th bag of the year.
3rd steal tonight for the Sox. Sanchez, Moncada, and now Engel, all with stolen bases. So that makes 74 for the team. Ball and 2 strikes. Sanchez swings through it, and 2 down.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment, and it's a big night in the life of Jose Abreu. That's in the 1st inning. Takes it opposite way and hits it out of the ballpark, his 14th, and in the 6th inning drives home another run, singling through the left side. So 2 of the runs batted in, courtesy of Jose Abreu, giving him 54.
Yeah, and good to see Jose squaring up baseballs again. Avi on deck after being scratched from the initial lineup. He was ill before the game, got checked out, came in as a defensive replacement, and now one hit or walk away from his first at bat of the night, coming in the ninth. This game has been the land of opportunity for both teams. A lot of chances.
They have had that. Yet only 8 runs total scored. Hasn't been the happiest night for Mike Scioscia. Pretty much everything he's either looked at or appealed or inquired about, he was wrong. Did not get the benefit of any of the calls.
Yeah, he's getting the rubber stamp, but it's no. Two balls, no strikes. Well, he fed him a fastball, but it was elevated. 2-1. Abreu homered in the first. Garcia tripled and scored in the fifth, and the Sox with 3 in the sixth. 2 balls, 1 strike. Save our ship. Save our ship. The beacon of hope. Two and two. That is strike 3. Abreu's out. Sox will try to finish it off. Soria coming in, we imagine. Bottom 9.
Ninth inning. And Joakim Soria comes on to nail it down. Up for the 39th time. He's 14 for 17 in save opportunities with a fine 2.70 ERA.
Sox used 4 relievers before him to get 1 out, and Cedeno before them to get 2 outs. It's a combined 5 relievers for 2 innings for the Sox, and they hand over the quick twitch baton to Joakim Soria in the 9th.
He's been awfully good. And he's got 3 outs to get.
Fletcher first for strike one. A great year in the back end of the bullpen for Joakim Soria in his first year with the Sox. A .81 ERA since May the 21st. Pumps in strike two. Again, what's at stake with every batter is the looming presence of Mike Trout, who's due up fourth in this inning. Not that he's the only weapon, but he's certainly the one you don't want to see. A little high.
Yeah, that one sailed on by, but that's okay. And Cooper looking at his pad to see if they worked on that in the side session. They didn't.
Ball and 2 strikes on Fletcher. Fouled back to our right. Just short of Reifert land.
He's been busy up there.
Yeah. One and two. Blooped left-hand side. Anderson won't get there. Fletcher is on. The tying run will come to the plate. A flick to left field, and there's a runner on.
Catches this off the end of the bat. And unfortunately, it falls in front of Liuri and beyond Tim.
We've told you that odd things have happened, and Trout, unless there's a double play or something worse, much worse, will bat in this inning. Sox have lost 6 straight games in this ballpark and 14 of the last 15.
It's a good high fastball thrown by Calhoun. Is that a Buckeye, Arizona?
Soria threw it right there for a strike. Angels put up 2 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. Sox with a 3-run 6th. 0-2. Calhoun strikes out, 1 gone. And now Simmons, who's a tremendous contact hitter.
Throws a fastball by him. He sent him up upstairs, went downstairs for the strikeout.
So Simmons, who's grounded out once and gone the air route 3 times, has only struck out 16 times all year.
Grounded into 9 double plays, however.
To right field and Avi Garcia. This is out number 2. And it's Mike Trout coming up as the tying run. How do you pitch the best player in baseball in a situation like this?
Well, normally you would say keep it down, but that's not the game plan that will neutralize Mike Trout.
He's wearable, but is he gettable? Can't really walk him here and put the tying run on.
No, you can't.
He takes a first pitch strike.
I don't think he's seen a sidearm fastball from Soria, although he has seen enough of him. 3 walks, 2 for 4 with a home run.
It's a different look
It is. Coming from the side, much different.
2 down. Trout takes outside. Well, they've tried to finagle big-time chances for him by moving him in the order, and it just so happens tonight he's the tying run with 2 out in the 9th, and he's down to his final strike.
That's a good spot for it. You keep it up, and you throw it by him.
Trout and Soria, 1 and 2, and the dirt. Lucas Giolito went 6 and left with the lead at 5-3. Don Cooper pondering how you get Superman to make out number 27. Three balls and 2 strikes with Upton on deck. The 6th reliever used tonight by the White Sox. 3 and 2 to Trout. Ball 4. Soria didn't give in with a fastball, and the tying runs at first base. Now you play no doubles on Upton.
You have to play as far back as you can get. It's been a night of no contact for Mike Trout. 5 at bats, not 1 official at bat.
4 walks and a sac fly. If Adam Engel could play on the rocks, he would.
Upton's been very good against Soria in the course of their brief head-to-head meetings.
With 2 outs, Soria to Upton. Strike 1. Justin Upton on a 6-game hit streak. Soria on a 2-month-long hot streak. Oh, 0-2. For a guy who can get very much in swing mode on 2 strikes, you have a couple that you can try and make him fish for.
Fanned 116 times this year. Not a bad time for 117.
No balls, 2 strikes. He throws him with a slider for strike 3. And the Sox bullpen speed dating gets a win on Monday night in Anaheim.
And Mike Scioscia's going to come out. He's going to come out. He's lost every other argument tonight or appeal, so he might as well lose this one, and there's not much that you can do. Ryan Addington said it was good enough. Upton didn't like it, but it won't be the last pitch in his career he doesn't like.
That was a strike, Steve.
It seemed like it. It froze him, and he got him. So a long way to go for this for Lucas Giolito to win one. And a lot of relievers as the knees buckle. The pitch is there. The game is over.
And Soria celebrates. He closes out yet another, and the Sox get a victory in a lengthy but fun opener.
And there'll be more